The Idaho Assistive Technology Project is a statewide information and resource center, actually 3+ centers, focused on technology to help people with disabilities meet their needs. We provide training and technical assistance. We can do assessments for employment in collaboration with vocational rehabilitation or with school districts in collaboration with the State Department of Education. And in Coeur d'Alene and Moscow and Boise, and in collaboration with Life Incorporated in Idaho Falls, we have lending libraries of equipment that people can check out and try. They can come in for demonstrations and evaluate what works best for them out of a variety of options. We also run a low-interest financing program for assistive technology. And I think this is the next slide as well, Jeremy. Yes. And we work with 2 banks to help people get financing at a very low interest rate. It's always at prime rate, which currently is 3.25% interest. 3 to 5 years. Our minimum loan is $500 and the maximum is $10,000. So that can go a long way toward getting basic home modifications done, get an adapted vehicle to transport a wheelchair. And a lot of this program over time has been used to help people finance hearing aids. And that low interest rate is significantly below what someone would pay on a credit card or would qualify for as a personal loan from a bank. So we managed to save Idahoans thousands of dollars in interest each year through this program. Let's go on to the next slide. Jeremy had mentioned the home modification resource list, or maybe it was my intro. If you point your smartphone at this QR code, it will actually take you to directly to the link on the Idaho Assistive Technologies website, where we have posted a list of as many different programs as we could find in the state that might help people finance home modifications. And some of the most important ones are the USDA Rural Development single family home repair loans or grants for people over the age of 62. For very low income families, they can qualify for up to $7,500 as a grant and up to $20,000 beyond that as a very low interest loan. But that's only for rural environments. Within the metro areas, there are programs through Community Development Block Grant, again, mostly for low income households. And this list also includes links to the veterans resources and the tribal resources and more general home repair or home modification alternatives. So please feel free to check that out. Let's go on to the next. So as you've probably gathered by now, home modifications can be quite expensive, but one of my roles with the Assistive Technology Project is to help people sort through the options. For some people, something like this clean cut bathtub accessibility kit, which is available from Home Depot for $375 plus installation, would allow them to get into their bathtub as a shower rather than the multiple thousands of dollars that it would cost to completely remodel the bathroom. Jeremy also mentioned using a sliding transfer bench as a possibility, as an alternative to remodeling and replacing a bathtub. And again, this is an option for some, but not all people. But for someone who doesn't have the financial resources, this can be a life-saving tool. Next slide. Lifts are another of the tools that aren't necessarily a modification, but are an assistive technology alternative to either transferring someone from bed to wheelchair, wheelchair to bathtub or toilet. The one on the left is a standalone frame that has a sling-based lift, and these can be installed even in a mobile home that might not have the structural integrity to install a ceiling lift, or the maneuvering room to wrangle around a Hoyer lift. So they can be very useful tools. The trick is getting them paid for by either your insurance or Medicare or Medicaid. It can be done, however. The picture on the right is a woman on a stair lift. And again, for the cost of a month or two in a care facility, you can install a stair lift, creating full access to a home, and be able to stay in place for a much longer period of time. Next slide. Transfer devices are another of the important independence creating tools. The pictures on the left show a woman transferring, I assume her husband, into a car using a take-along lift, which is a lift on wheels that supports him in a sling. It rolls under the car, allows him to be positioned on the seat of the car and then lowered, and then his legs turned into the passenger, in this case, the passenger side. And then that lift happens to easily fold up and will fit in your trunk. So it would meet not only home-based transfer issues, but could help with community access as well. The Easy Pivot lift on the right is one that I have not seen many of in use, but what it does is it provides a chest platform. So the individual being transferred leans their chest across a cushion, wraps their arms around it, and then their feet are positioned with knee pads. And then rather than being lifted, they are tipped onto that chest pad, raising their backside in the air and allowing for, pants to be pulled down if needed. And then it's on wheels, so they could be moved into the bathroom on this kind of device. Anyway, it's an alternative for those folks who don't feel secure and don't need the full sling options used by a Hoyer lift. And there are many, many more. Next slide. There are also a variety of tools for assistance with standing, things like standing poles that can be installed almost anywhere that there's a secure ceiling joist. And it's just a pressure pole. So you put it in place, you tighten it, and between the floor and ceiling, it allows that pole to be stabilized almost anywhere, next to the tub, next to your favorite chair, and give you something to secure to help get to a standing position. The commode booster seat and the easy up booster seat become invaluable tools when somebody's knees are having difficulty getting them into standing. I actually have 3 of these booster seats installed at my parents' house right now. Each of my dad's favorite chairs has one of these. And as fall prevention tools, or when a caregiver has difficulty with lifting and doing transfers, these kinds of readily available booster seats make a huge difference in options. Next slide. Okay, I think we're right on time. This is our contact information. If you've got any additional questions, please give us a call.